Good morning, everyone. Well, it might be good morning, good day, or good evening whenever you're watching this episode. And I'm Ron. Hopefully, you've seen our previous episodes. Our goal is to entertain and also to inform. So, if you haven't watched those videos before, please go back and find something that you might be interested in. My goal really is to make numismatists out of all of you, that is, coin collectors. You can also be exo-numismatists, that would be collecting things like tokens and other things that are round and made of metal. But in any case, if you like coins, you think you like coins, you find them interesting, and you want to know more about them, this channel is for you. Okay, one other thing, if you could, please like, share, and subscribe this channel. That would help us grow it and we can reach more people and provide more content. Of course, we endeavor to help you understand more about coins. And by the way, as I research for each of these episodes, I'm learning. I've been collecting coins since I was like 10, 11, 12 years old. And I do have a nice little collection since I'm well into my 60s. Don't share that with anybody. But in any case, if you're a longtime hunter gatherer and you want to become a collector, again, this channel is for you. Okay, so here's my motto, right? If you're not hunting, you're not finding. And really, that kind of encapsulates the goals of this channel in terms of turning you into coin collectors. You get out there and look. Where do you find coins? You find them out during when you go get change for buying something at a store. You look at your change. You may find some very interesting coins that have errors on them or that are in very, very good condition. Let me start my timer. Going to coin shows and developing relationships with the coin vendors there. When you do that and they know what you're collecting, if they find something, they will contact you. And of course, if you watched any of my previous episodes, you'll find that I do develop relationships with my sellers, the ones that sell to me. And they are always on the lookout for interesting coins that I might be wanting to add to my collection. So you can also go to, don't tell anybody, pawn shops. Sometimes the pawn shops are only looking at coins as far as the metal content, and they're not looking at them from what variety they are, if they have any errors, and you can find some real nuggets. I have a short story to tell you on that regard, and then we'll get into our point of this whole episode, which is die cracks and US coins. Okay. And we'll get into what that is in just a moment. But I was with my brother up in, I believe it was Longmont, Colorado. It might have been Loveland. We were out searching for coins and we're going into thrift stores. We're going into flea markets. We were going into pawn shops. So he said, "Hey, Ronnie, I know where there's a pawn shop that always carries coins." And so we went into this pawn shop, and sure enough, in the glass case, they had all sorts of coins, both proof sets, uncirculated sets, Morgan dollars, etc. And so my brother was very, very animated and very excited about that. And he found I believe it was an 1879 Morgan. And if he's listening to this particular episode, he does support me and watch my channel, and I really appreciate him doing that. Leave a comment below, but I believe it was an 1879 Morgan. He was so excited about finding that coin, and it was at a good price. So the young lady that was waiting on him disappeared for a few minutes. And we were just sitting there talking, and he was going to get ready to pay for the coin. And she brought the coins back out, including that 1879 Morgan. And she goes, "Oh, by the way, I cleaned them up. They look nicer now." Oh my goodness. I could just see him turn red in the face. And he just politely told the young lady, and the owner of the pawn shop was standing there, goes, "I'm no longer interested in the coin. You've ruined all the value that that coin had in its original patina." And this had to be probably in the mid 19, nah, maybe in the late 1990s, early 2000s when that happened. We still get a good laugh out of that. But anyway, you can find coins at pawn shops as well. You can ask around at some of the groups and friends circles of friends that you have, and let them know that you collect coins, and you'll be surprised at how many people come forward. Most of the time, they're not going to have anything worth really collecting, but sometimes there are those real gems. All right. So as far as educating and informing the viewers, what is a die crack? Well, we have two dies that come together and impress the image on both sides of the planchet, which makes the coin. And when they come together in such tremendous force that the metal of the planchet, the raw coin, if you will, flows up into the image of what's on the obverse die and on the reverse die. And when they release after putting that extreme amount of force on the coin or the planchet, we have a newly minted coin. Sometimes, because metal does get stressed over time and the tremendous pressure that's been put on these planchets to make the coin, it stresses over and over and over again. I mean, realize this, the US Mint is making hundreds of millions of coins every year. And you can do the math, figure out what that is per day. And so they have to maintain the dies, and sometimes the dies stress to the point that they crack. And when they crack, a little groove opens up in the surface of the die. And next time they come down on a coin, the metal flows not only up into the image, but up into the crack that exists in the die, the working die. So what we tend to see when we're looking at die cracks is a coin that has been minted with a damaged die, and the metal has flown up into that recessed area, which is the die crack. And when we look at the coin itself, we see lines, jagged lines or straight lines that are raised above the surface of the coin. All that's wonderful. I think I talked a little bit about that in a couple of the previous episodes. I think it was episode number 4, A Stake to the Heart, and it was Lincoln Cent, 92, 93, something like that. I don't remember. But it was a beautiful coin, and apparently people found it very interesting. So I'm going to switch cameras here. I hope the camera is working properly. We'll see. Can we? Okay. So let me adjust this a little bit. Now, of course, this camera is a ProStream camera, and it doesn't focus real well. Now, no worries here. I'm not going to go through all these coins, but these coins right here, these are US coins, and we'll go through them. You can't see the whole view of it, but it goes well over in this area. There's about 7 coins that I'm going to show you in this episode. And then back here, these are all coins with die cracks as well, but they're foreign coins. I do have a couple of certified coins that I found and had them certified. Loved them in the annex holder. For those of you that want to start a collection and maintain and preserve the state that the coin is in, you cannot find a better value than annex, and of course the presentation of the coin in the slab. And we'll show that to you in just a moment. So we'll go through those 7 coins, and then we'll do a quick wrap up and close out the episode. All right. So perhaps the first place to start is this one right here. This is an MS65. It's a 1968D nickel. And of course, if we can get it to focus on, it says die crack. Now, sometimes they will say averse die crack or reverse die crack. Okay. So what I'm going to do is shift cameras over to the coin microscope, and I may have to adjust it just for a second to get it in focus. So let's see if you guys can see the coin microscope. Yes. All right. So let me back this thing off a bit, and then we're going to focus. And I may have to adjust the light to make sure that everybody can see the die crack. So here's the coin. There's MS65. By the way, it's a beautiful coin. It's just absolutely exquisite. Now, if you look at his forehead, and I'm going to adjust the light a little bit, it looks like the crown of his forehead has been damaged, but it's not. It's a die crack. So I'm lowering it just a little bit more so that you can see it. Maybe I'll get it up there in the light. Look at that die crack. Isn't that wonderful? Now, don't worry about this. This look appears to be a scratch, and I try to keep my cases, my slab coins in good condition. I actually have little cellophane packets, like this here. You can't really see it, but I wrap them up in it. So all my slab coins are protected and put in boxes, but invariably, scratches do occur on plastic. So this right here is the die crack. Yes. And now that coin, I believe I found, but I might have purchased it. This one, again, I deal in so many different types of coins. I lose the pedigree, but I think I might have purchased this. I have done nickel coin roll searches, but I believe this is one I purchased. All right, I'm going to back it up so you can get a very good view of the coin itself. And believe me, the die crack is more pronounced than what this lighting is showing. You have to look at, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, you can see that die crack right there. Isn't it gorgeous? Okay. Now, the backside, not very interesting. It's just a regular Jefferson nickel, but it's that die crack that really makes the coin. And it's an MS65. Very happy with that coin. Now, I'm going to change back to the desk camera. And we're going to look at a beautiful Mercury. Look at this coin here. Will it focus? Come on, focus, focus, focus. Having trouble. I don't know why that is. Can you focus for me? Maybe I don't have it at the right angle. Sometimes that camera will focus very quickly, and other times it's really persnickety. Maybe if I start out way back here and then bring it in. No? Oh, well. Come on, focus for me. Don't be doing this, Mr. Camera. Well, it's not going to focus, so I'll put it under the coin microscope and we'll see it very readily. I always like to show you that presentation before we go under the coin microscope. But if you can see this, this is a 1942 Mercury dime, and it has a die crack on the reverse. It's an MS64, a beautiful, beautiful Mercury dime. So I'm flipping it over. And, on this one, I forgot exactly where that die crack is. I think it's on the right side. So let me focus this in, and we're going to drop this down a bit so we can get a closer look. And we'll bring it back into focus. There it is. If you look at the M, we'll come down a little bit closer, and focus it. Yeah, you see that die crack right through the M in America? Right there. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, again, for a numismatist, we try to specialize in the coins that we collect. And perhaps I'm more of a, oh gosh, I guess my brother would say I'm a shotgun collector. Not that I collect shotguns, but I collect a little bit of every type of error. But I do like die cracks, and I do have a number of them that I've found doing these major coin searches, both in US coins and foreign coins. And so this is a beautiful die crack, a tremendous amount of pressure that caused that crack to open up in the reverse die. And then when the dies hit the coin, that metal flowed up into that crack. And you can actually see it down here in the E. It progresses down through here into the R. And there may be a little bit of hint to it down here between the R and the I, right? Between the R and the I, right in there. So that's a pretty long die crack. And there appears to be a die crack right there. So that die had some real problems with it and had been stressed over producing so many coins throughout its working life. Okay. But then again, as the dies begin to fail, that makes it very interesting for the coin collector. We get the results of what happens to the planchet as it mints coins. All right, we're going to go back and see if we get this ProStream camera to work, and we're going to pick up the next coin. At the next coin is a die crack on a Zinken Lincoln. I've already said I really don't like the Zinken coins. And it could be that there's just not enough light here for this to focus. Let me change the light just a bit. Will it focus now? Probably not. Okay, so we're going to put this under the coin microscope. I'm going to give up on the desktop except for when it's looking at the tray. So this is a 2009D. Now, I've been complaining of late. The reason why I complain is it seems like all those of you who live in the eastern part of the United States gets all the fun because there's been some real quality issues with producing coins over in the Philadelphia Mint. And the Denver Mint seems to have a tighter control on quality. And so I hate to tell the employees of the Denver Mint, I do like the coins that you produce, but they're boring because most of them are exactly what you want to produce with no or very few errors. However, this one has a die crack in it, and I don't know if you can see it. Now, one could challenge me because this is a more of a rounded type of die crack. It's raised up, it's kind of beefy, similar to the stake in the heart die crack. I don't know if this right here is a result of the zinc planchet underneath the copper plating reacting with something. I have my doubts that that's the case because if it were, why would it be so straight like a die crack like that? Now, that's not one of the most prolific ones, but it is out there. You can find this in the everyday change. Okay, let's go to the next one. So the next coin we have is one that I just got today. This is pretty phenomenal. Let's see, it's a 2021P. Look at that jewel. I'm going to flip it around so it's the right side up. Will that die crack show? Yeah, look at that jewel. I've already given the seller, I bought this off of eBay, off of a seller that I bought from before, and I've given him an extremely high response, thanking him for the coin. I probably should have asked him, does he have any more? But look at that die crack. Or is it a die clash? Uh, I'm not sure. It looks like a die crack to me, but I can't. I'm trying to think about what's on the reverse die, and the reverse die has the Jefferson Memorial, and I can't think of anything on the reverse. Let's just flip it over and take a quick peek that would have anything long, elongated like that. No. See, there's nothing there that would suggest to you that it's a die clash unless it was a different die. And I don't think that's the case. You remember, the more ands you have of something occurring, if this happens and this happens and this happens, the probability gets multiplied by the probability of each occurrence. And pretty soon the overall chance of that big thing with the connected ands happening is very, very, very low in terms of probability of occurrence. I think Occam's razor said that um, the simplest answer is probably the right answer. So my simplest answer is this is a die crack and it's a beautiful coin. And I'm extremely pleased and I'm ecstatic. And guess what? This is going out to Annex in my next submission. I've got one almost ready to go. I've got one already out there. And we'll see what Annex has to say about it. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. This one also I bought. It's a 1952 die crack, nickel, I should say, 1952. And let me turn it right side up. And when you see on the left-hand side there, let me go down a bit to just focus in on the die crack for you. So there's people all over the country looking at these coins and finding all sorts of anomalies on them. And all you have to do is scan eBay to find what you're interested in. And generally, the prices are right. As the collector community's interest goes up, so does the price, just so you know. Now, one may say, oh, that's a scratch. Well, no, because that's raised above the planchet or the coin surface. So that's a beautiful die crack starting from that would be the left on the coin itself to the right, connecting into the Jefferson Memorial. And notice this coin wasn't well struck. The details on the Jefferson Memorial are just not there. Kind of a weakly struck coin, isn't it? But still, it's an excellent die crack. I'm very happy to have it. All right, we're going to move up in denomination. We're going to go to a coin I found quarter roll searching. I bought actually a box of quarters. My lovely bride, Miss Empire, bought a $500 box of quarters because, of course, I was searching for the new quarters. And this is one that I came across. It wasn't a new quarter, but I was ecstatic. And it didn't take me long to find it. Look at that. Can you see that die crack? It starts right up here and sweeps through United. Let's go up a bit and so you can see the larger of the coin and see if you can see it in its entirety. If we get the light right, yeah, of course you can see it. So right there, it starts and sweeps through the U in United. This coin has been circulated quite a bit. So there's a clue for those of you just starting your collection. You can still find errors out there in pocket change. They're out there. All you have to do is look, right? And if you're not looking, you're not finding. But isn't that a gorgeous die crack? Okay, let's move on. Now, this one is kind of unique. I did buy this one off of eBay. This is called the Spitting Horse die crack. And you can see it. The light's not really good. Let me move the light around. You can see that from the horse, it starts above the horse's mouth and sweeps down through Caesar's name, right? Right through there. So I'm going to lower it and let you get a better look. You know, and this is another key to collecting coins. If you can find a coin where a certain name has stuck in describing that coin and they begin to use it in the certification services that are provided, the Spitting Horse coin. And then we have, like in Sacagawea, the Wounded Eagle coin or the Pierced Bison. All those coins started with people trying to come up with the best way to describe it, and the name stuck. And of course, now that's part of the identification of these coins. So I have my Spitting Horse die crack. Isn't that wonderful? Now we'll go up and back up and give you a better view of the overall coin. And we'll see if we can adjust the light, bring it back into focus. And it's not like the others where you can see it real well. You can see the beginning of it up in this area near the horse's mouth, and then it sweeps down through there. And I'm not sure, I haven't looked at this real closely, but it looks like there might be some die cracks up in that area as well. Interesting, isn't it? And again, this coin was found well after it had been in circulation for quite a bit. I mean, just look at the surface of the coin. It's endured quite a bit of circulation. You can just see the scratches due to coins and changes bumping up against each other. And look at this. I don't know if that happened after or if that's a struck through type error from the mint. But anyway, there's lots of wear and tear on the coin because it was in service. Okay. And I apologize for going on as long as I have, but I hope you've enjoyed this episode. It is about a certain type of coin that you can find in pocket change. It won't cost you anything. The coins that I found, like when I found the quarter with the die crack, guess what? It cost me a quarter. Yeah, I paid a few more dollars for those that I bought off of eBay. But I try to buy quality coins off of eBay so that when they're certified, they will appreciate in value. But I don't do it for the appreciation of the coin in terms of value. I do it because I'm interested and I want to preserve the surface of the coin. All right, my friends, I think we're done with this episode. My apologies for going on as long as I have. Hopefully you found something of interest to you that you might also begin to collect. And with that, you take care of yourself, be careful out there, and good hunting. bye.